Andrew Tate, he recently had an interview where he talked about how he's no longer a Christian and now he's more geared toward the Islamic faith, which is, and he gave his reasoning, and his reasoning, I'm about to share a clip where he talks about how he perceives that Christianity is a weak religion. Please watch.
This is one of the reasons why I reverted to Islam, because I feel like the Islamic culture is the strongest. You feel the culture.
I was wondering, because you were Christian, and, you know, I definitely do not know enough about the Islamic faith to sit here and debate you on it. I'm never a person that will debate somebody on something that I'm not an expertise on. But I will say that I'm sad that you're not a Christian anymore, because I can sense, perhaps it's because you felt that Christians weren't doing a good job defending their beliefs.
Yeah, I think that God should be feared. I believe that God should be feared. I fear God. It's one of the only things I fear. And I believe that also you see God to a degree, or you see religion, how you see yourself. And I see myself as a person of strong principles and strong morals. And I like to think of myself as the kind of person nobody really wants to cross, not because I'm a psycho, but because I'm a man of capability and I'm smart and I'm strong and nobody wants to make an enemy of me. So I feel like I find an affinity to a belief system which has very similar outlooks. And there's a whole bunch of other things I can say from the Quran and Islamic texts, etc. But to keep it very vague and very broad for people who are not Islamic, I felt God when I was in an Islamic country. If I went to an Islamic country,
that's the problem.
I felt God. You don't feel any God. How is it a Christian country if Satanists are mocking Jesus on the streets?
I understand what you're saying, and I was trying to gather in my head what pulled him away from Christianity, and I said it's probably the example. If you're thinking that America is a Christian country, and you're thinking that the United Kingdom is a Christian country,
they're not.
Going, Christianity is getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And the truth is that America is no longer a Christian country. We're being run by people that are satanic. Hollywood is satanic, and Hollywood is running America.
Correct.
So you're not wrong. But I think that right now America is facing a spiritual battle. And for the first time in a very long time, Christians are starting to stand up and speak about our principles.
I hope so.
And I could have used you as a
I know. But I have seen in California, I've seen Christians and Muslims get side by side when they were complaining about the LGBT
I did see that
schools, which is fantastic. And I know what you're saying, and that is true, but it's almost...
So that's it in a nutshell, and that's his rationale and reasoning for leaving the Christian faith. He thinks that the Christian faith is weak because you come into this country and you see all the rainbow flags and different things, and Satanists having the freedom and opportunity to preach and teach and say this all across the world. And then I just love how Candace Owens, with her dramatic and soft-spoken voice and quote-unquote sincere voice, comes on and tries to have like a moment and a soft and pink moment with him. So first of all, I like a lot of what Candace Owens says. First of all, Andrew Tate has a lot of misguided anger. Like he's angry for some reason. I don't know why he's so pissed off and so frustrated, but he's so angry, and he wants people to be just like him. He wants that same aggression and anger that he has for certain things, that the world should be aligned and be the same way. And if it's not, then it's wrong. And that's my gripe with Andrew Tate. I don't think his message is wrong, especially when it comes to male empowerment and certain ills in our society. But I think the way he wants to fix it is wrong. I think his tone is wrong because, again, your desire when you identify and share a solution to a problem is to try to have someone receive it. But if you're so angry and you're barking and you're, mad at the world, then it may defeat the purpose. But that's one thing. So it's if I was speaking to Andrew Tate and explain to him his situation, the one thing I would tell him is this is the result of freedom. The God that we serve, the Christian God, Yahweh, is a God that gives us free will and freedom. So when you give people free will and freedom, they are going to choose to do something. They may choose to do something against your will. Like you raise children and you tell your kids what to do, what's right and what's wrong. But ultimately, when they become adults, when they progress in their lives, they may go against your will. Like it's God, the God that we serve is not a God that forces us to serve him. The God that we serve is not one that wants you to love him because you're afraid of him. That's not relationship. That's legalism. That's fear. That's religion. Relationship is like, yo, you know what, God, I love you. And because I love you, I don't want to do this. God, I love you. Because I love you, I don't want to go against your will. Not, hey, God, I'm scared, so I have to do what you call me to do. God, I'm afraid of getting in trouble. I'm afraid of getting killed. I'm afraid of dying. So therefore, I will do what you tell me to do. That's not the God that we serve. God wants us to choose. He has given us the free will and opportunity to pick and choose what we're going to do. So when free will is prevalent, you're going to also have some quote unquote bad seeds, or just people that do not do what you want. So if Andrew Tate's expectation is that, hey, everybody's going to serve God or else, this is not the right religion for you. And I don't even think it's that way in the Muslim faith, in the Islamic faith. You know, certain countries are theocracies. Certain countries evoke fear as to why there's somebody. Also, for the most part, it's not something where you force folks to do it. But imagine having to be in a place, having to be in a country where you're forced to serve Yahweh. And then you have Candace Owens in her nice and soft and, sincere tone, responds to Andrew Tate talking about, I hear your concerns, I hear your pain. She was so fake and phony as she was trying to create a moment, saying that the reason that this goes on in the U.S. is because there's a spiritual battle going within the country. First of all, the U.S. was never a theocracy. The U.S. was never a country founded on religion. They use religion, and they still use religion to get certain things out and to share certain perspectives. But ultimately, they were never a country based on God. The very foundation of the country is stealing the land from the Indians. So how are we now all of a sudden a theocracy in a Christian country? The church and state are separate. So this whole narrative that there's a spiritual war going on within this country is not correct. It's a narrative. And it's not, and the reason why she shared this is trying to imply that Hollywood runs this country. Hollywood runs the world. The world is the different satanic and demonic things that you're seeing is the world being the world. If you understand how the world, this concept of religion works, you're gonna see the same thing all over wherever you go. The world is being the world. When you share certain images of sex trafficking, of different gender issues, crime, this is the world. So it's not unique to the U.S. This is something that goes on all across the world, especially as we live in the last days. So the U.S. was never one that you would think you would consider to be a theocracy, where it was based on religion. They used religion to push certain agendas, and the conservative party is still doing it right now, but it's nothing to do with religion. So please stop this whole sincere perspective of how I feel your pain and we have failed as a spiritual battle. No, God does not support a political party. God does not support a particular country. God is a God that is the same throughout the entire world. So Candace Owens, when you're saying that this is a spiritual battle, it sounds cute. It is very nice, but the U.S. is not the one fighting the spiritual battle. It's just the ills of this country that is a result of the various laws and approaches that they're doing is now coming to the surface. It's now becoming more and more evident. It's now realize what this country is really about. And even the Conservative Party, which has its evangelical base and its religious hat on, they have certain things they have to deal with as well. They need to find Jesus as well. So Andrew Tate, I feel your pain, bro, and I hate to hear what you're going through, and not just like Andrew Tate, anybody watching who's feeling the same exact way. But I want you to understand that the U.S. and no country should be a theocracy. God has given us freedom. God has given us the opportunity to serve him and to do what he calls us to do. But ultimately, what we have to do is make a choice. And that freedom is what allows us and gives us the chance to sit here and serve God freely. He wants us to serve him freely. He don't want us to be coerced to do what he wants us to do certain things. So ultimately, that is unfortunate that some folks have made the wrong choice. But that's the result of freedom. That's the result of free will. Your job is to make sure that you are right with God and not make any excuses why you can't serve God and why you want to join a different religion. If that's what you feel that you want to do, that's your prerogative. I will pray for you and hope you come back. However, it's not the country's fault why you're not serving God. It's not any other person's fault why you're not doing what God has called you to do. It's you to have to make the choice. And it's time for us to do his will. I pray this blesses you. I pray you learn from this. If you love this page and you love what you just watched, please subscribe for a lot of relatable Christian content. Again, I'm Pastor Ron, and I'm here to push you to live to your maximum God-given potential. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. God bless you. Peace.